In today's lecture, I'm going to teach you how to draw the human eye. So the first thing I want to show you is I want to show you how the human eye works. So up to this point, we've drawn some eyes, except we still haven't really gone in depth with how the human eye works and what we're drawing. So first off, we're going to create a diagram of the human eyeball, and then we're going to layer on the human eyelid. So first off, we have the eyeball. So this circle I have drawn here is the sphere that makes up my eyeball. Next, what we have is what's called the iris. The iris is the colored part of the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle in, like so. And that's going to make up my iris. The next part of the eye is the pupil. So the pupil is a hole in the eye. Now, the reason why there's a hole in your eye is because this is where the light comes in and hits the back of your eyeball and basically tells your brain what to see. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with this, but if you're not, that's why I want to go over it. Now, the iris is a muscle. The iris opens and closes the pupil, and the pupil can get bigger or smaller. So the larger the pupil, the more light it's going to be letting in, and the smaller the pupil, the less light it's going to be letting in. Now, pupils can be all different types of colors, irises can be all different types of colors. They can be anywhere from green to blue to brown, sometimes gray. They can have little hints of gold in there. There's all different types of irises. This other part of the eyeball is called the white of the eyeball. Another thing to understand is that the iris is generally flat on the eyeball and sometimes even indented. And so that might cause a little bit of a shadow on this top side. If the light is coming down from the top, it's going to cause a little bit of shadow on this top side because it's indented. So if we have a look at our eyeball from a side view, what we'd see is we'd see a bowl, but the front of it would be cut flat like so. And that could possibly be barely indenting in. And then we have the hole for our pupil, which then comes into our eyeball. And that's why the pupil appears to be black, is because you're looking into basically a cave and no light is going into that cave, at least hardly any light at all. The only light that's coming in is being focused by the lens in front of your eye, so it's hitting a small spot in the back of your eye. So now that we have our eyeball drawn, the next thing we need to add is the eyelids. So the eyelids are basically just pieces of skin that are laid across the top of our eyeball. And then it comes up like so, and we don't have the top of the eyelid all the way back here where the round part of the ball is. We have it about halfway in. So that would be the top of our eyelid like so. And then we have the bottom eyelid. So the bottom eyelid can come around like so. So you have to imagine like the skin is wrapping around the ball when you're drawing your eyelids. And then you're going to have a little bit of a bottom eyelid. You don't have to make it this prominent, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to draw that in really strong. Another thing to note is the top eyelid will overlap the bottom eyelid right over here. Then we have what's called the tear duct. So this area right here, that's the tear duct, and that's where your tears come from. All right, now let's go over a couple of different eye shapes, because a lot of the times people will teach you how to draw eyes, but it's a very generic type of eye, and there are actually lots of different eye shapes, and it's what makes